Have you ever feel like the life is just not moving fast enough? Like you're chasing one goal after another, but that doesn't really feel satisfying at all? Well, I've been there, and actually, I still in some way there also. But I found an exercise that really changed the perspective on all of that and helped me more appreciate where I am and where I'm going. And so this is exactly what I'm going to share with you today. So let's get to it because at the core of what I'm going to share is the idea that as overachiever, as a high performer like we are, we tend to focus exclusively on the future and completely disregard the past. And that's good because that allows us to keep moving forward, to always get faster and faster forward to get more and more results. But to be able to perform at our best, we need a deeper sense of purpose. Why are we doing what we are doing? Why does it matter? And so on. And sometimes by forgetting about the past, by forgetting where we come from and what we have already accomplished, we can lose ourselves when going through that process and trying to achieve great things. So the exercise that I want to share with you is an exercise that I like to call your timeline. Oh, stay there. The idea of this exercise is that you will take a moment, 30 minutes to an hour, and trust me, it is worth it, where you are going to take a step back on the life you have lived until now. And you are going to do it in a very simple way. I'm going to share because I've done it on a journal, but you can do it in digital, or that's really up to you. But the way I did it, I really like because then that's easy to track and to actually review and have a big picture of what happened. So the idea you want to pretty much, because I don't know for you, but for me, for instance, I had a cycle about 3 years in my life. Every 3 years, something new happened. It's like I'm changing phases. I know that my father, for instance, that's almost every 4 years. It was a cycle for him. And so what I did is pretty much each page is represent 3 years. And so I'm going to explain to you. So what you're going to do, if you want to do it like I did on a notebook, you can do like that. So you have multiple page, and each you are going to have 3 years. Oh. As I said, this is for me. I put 3 years, but if for you that's 4 years, that's okay. Do just a rough guess of the cycles you went through in your life, because then something that is interesting to do. So I'm going to finish first with the years. So the idea here is then once you have established those years, you want to actually identify the key events that have happened during the beginning of your life. So you do it for every single year of your life, and you try to remember everything that happened across each of those years. You can use different color if you want, but you have some basic events that does not really or just random event. But what I found is putting everything that you remember is important, because then you will make connection to other things that you might have forgot, and that will spark something else that you may have forgotten, but that was a very decisive moment in your life. So that's important that you try to really put everything that you remember as much as you possibly can. Okay, that was exactly this month. This is when this happened, and so on. And then at some point, you will start finding key events that have actually defined your life. Those events were important. And also doing that, on a side note, this exercise is very powerful to build yourself as a person, as a leader, because generally leader when they want to make people connect with them, they generally have to tell stories and to background stories that happen to them, that have learned lesson, and so you can preach those lessons to other people to make them move in your direction. And this is a good way to remind yourself of all the stories that you can tell. That's what just on side note. Anyway, so you're doing that, and you will see the key event and the not so common event. But as I said, the not so the event that you don't think are very important, put them also because they will allow you to connect your mind. Okay, this year this is what happened, but just before that this is what happened, because that's difficult sometimes to just remind yourself of everything that happened. Then what you want to do, so if you're not sure about the cycle and so on, you can just do that without having a specific structure. But if at some point you start finding a specific structure, for me, what I've done is actually I put team 1, 2. The idea is then you create theme, like period, and you give title. What was this period about? And you'll be amazed because, for instance, I'll just realize by doing so how much my life, the things that I've gone through, and that I've actually achieved. I can tell you if you want the kind of theme that I've come up with. From 2005 to 2007, I was just struggling as a human being because I was kind of I had a hypersensibility about everything. My nervous system was kind of out of place, and my emotion was extremely difficult to handle. And so I was just struggling as a human being to live. Then yeah, 2008 to 2010, this is the moment where I experienced the deepest mental and physical pain, suffering I've ever experienced. And so that was the toughest part of my life, I believe. Then 2011, 2013, this is when I fell in love with a passion, and that was my call to adventure about golf. Pretty much, that was that. Then 2014 to 2016, I tried to become a pro player. This is because what's funny is I try to map it out with the hero's journey. If you don't know what it is, it's basically the different phases that a hero comes through in order to achieve a specific goal. And so I found it really funny that my life actually follow a lot this idea of the hero's journey. And so 2014 2016, this is when I actually drop out of college in order to try to become a professional player. This is a departure, and this is also what led me eventually to my full breakdown and burnout, which is the lowest low of the journey. And then I get back on my feet and start the uphill battle to get back to where I was, getting my first job, start having a plan to get back to being able to become a professional player, but with different things, because what led me eventually to burnout was the fact that I was depending on money of my parents, and so I worked so much because I wanted to make them proud, or at least to make them think that the money they were spending on me was worth it. And so it eventually led me to overtrain and burnout. So I decided, you know what, if I want to make this, if I want to become a professional player, I need to be able to sustain myself. And so that was kind of 2017 to 2019 was more about getting back on my feet, coming back to school, finishing my engineering degree, getting my first job, investing in real estate. Then 2020, 2022, that was a period where I finished investing in real estate, quitting my job, and finally getting free and having all my time to be able to do what I want. And 2023 to 2025, it's what I call, which is the period I'm in, the transition to a new life, which is, I believe, the moment where, so I was high Then I went low as I possibly can. I went, and now I'm pretty much back to the same level I was before my burnout. And then I'm going to start ramping up, but now the foundation are much stronger. And so this is a continuation of my hero's journey. And so that's make a very I don't know how to say it, but even just reading it again, it get me a little bit emotional because thinking of back on all the things that happened, all the things I have gone through, and anyway, I think that's something worth doing that will bring you a ton of positive proudness about yourself. And yeah, I'm about to cry. Anyway, I hope that helped you and that you will find as much enjoyment, or at least step back on it as I did. At least that's something that was very valuable, that is very valuable to me. So I hope so it is for you as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.